we are not promising viewers, but we are going to try and be as decorous as we can possibly manage. It's a little difficult, but yes, we'll try the difficult task for one. And I would like to first and foremost tell all our people. I can see that there are 4 other people apart from us who've joined in. I'd like to tell them a little bit about who this person Devika is and why is it that I am so inordinately fond of her. That should not make you think that I am biased about her writing, because at the end of the day, I am a teacher and I can be extremely ruthlessly you can see I'm sitting with the red pen. I can be ruthlessly delineating of things as they are. But I'd like to read out who she actually is. It sounds very impressive, and it actually is. So here goes. Devika, please try and look a little serious. This is Devika Das, and she's an acclaimed author and an actor based in Hyderabad. And she has previously showcased her writing finesse in Meghna, which is Thus and So, a Hindi novella by Anecdote Publishing House, her children's book, The Climate Ninja, which is unfortunately in school, so I cannot show you the cover of that one, published by Merlin Bond, has delighted audiences as it has delighted me. I accept myself as an overgrown baby, and I loved the book because of its social message, but housed in beautiful pictures by Ekota Mondol, who I am a great fan of. The Mind Game. This is how I got to know this admirable creature. And this is the book that literally made me reach out to Devika and want to really get to know her. Because anybody who can write something like this, and the Mind Game is, mind you, not your run-of-the-mill, do-it-yourself book, which is not wishy-washy in any way, is not airy-fairy in any way, very doable, and also it has one of the most awe-inspiring indexes that I've ever seen. A book of that genre with an index that well delineated is something to be extremely proud of. Devika, please take a bow. And my Mind Game now graces the bookshelves in London and Frankfurt. She is a recipient of the Dr. Sarojini Naidu Nightingale of India International Award for Working Women 2024 and the Indian Changemaker Award 1924. 2024, along with several other literary awards. Okay, this sounds very fancy. Notably, Devika contributed to a world record in theatre. This one is really impressive with the Nishumbika School of Drama. She has earned national awards for her short films and is a sought-after speaker at literary events and TED circles. Devika also judges literary and theatre competitions. Unfortunately, she is in Hyderabad and therefore can't judge us. Currently, she serves as a marketing manager at Cognita AI, while continuing to enchant audiences with her literary and theatrical talents. Now, that does not in any way sum up who this person is. She reminds me of a pocket-sized Venus because she might look very unassuming to all of you people, but behind that very unassuming smile, very beatific smile at that, is a sharp as a razor mind, which I'm going to sort of talk about right now. Because let's face it, Devika, there are certain conditions I think that make it ripe for somebody to want to get to know a person. Yes. I hope you remember our first meeting when I sort of did an online interview with you about the Mind Game.
Yes,
and that's when we started off on our journey of the reader trying to find out a bit about the writer and getting to know what goes on inside. And I want to start off with the Mind Game because I think it is a preamble to Kaleidoscope.
Yes, it is.
I personally believe that Kaleidoscope is a sort of an extension, and Kaleidoscope is the book that we're talking about. Her latest book that we're talking about is an extension of the Mind Game, because in the Mind Game you talked about emotional well-being and how important it was to be able to operate to the best of your ability if you have that sorted. And mental health is something that really bothers our generation of people, this present generation of people, and that's where it started off. So, in between, I also interviewed about this, and I think Devika puts a lot of herself in her characters. Because this is Meghna. Meghna is a theatre personality, and when she's being interviewed by a gentleman, a journalist, this is what she has to say about theatre, and I think this is exactly what Devika has to say about theatre. थिएटर सिर्फ अभिनय नहीं है, ये एक कलाकार को मनुष्य की अनेक प्रवृत्तियों से रूबरू करवाती है. That means you come face to face with the various facets of people's minds when you do theatre. So tell us, how has your being a theatre artist helped you profoundly, I'm sure, in your journey of writing, of penning down books that are so different in their genres? Yes? What do you think is the role of theatre in your growth?
So, theatre has been a part of my life. First of all, thank you for such a wonderful introduction, Ruma. You are very kind, I must say. Yeah. And now, now answering your question is so basically, theatre. I have been acting since the age of 3. So it started with like a fancy dress competition. But when I heard the applause, something happened inside me. I said, okay, this is something I can never leave, and I have to perform. I have to keep performing. But in 2002, I took up professional theatre when I was when I was studying in Mount Carmel College, Bangalore. I worked with professional groups, and since then, theatre has been a part of my life. Wherever I go, first thing is I look out for a theatre group whenever I go to a new city. That is the kind of love I have or attachment I have with theatre. Whether I find a home or not, I have to find a theatre group first. So theatre has how has it has helped me explore myself, understand myself through each character. I think I have grown a little bit. I have become very objective, and I have see, a lot of people have a lot of opinions. We have opinions about every subject, right? But we don't we fail to understand. We fail to understand. Everybody talks of empathy, but it is very hard to be empathetic when you are very biased or when you keep judging everybody. I think that is where theatre helped me break the ice and break the norm and see the situation as it is. And I also, when I am trying to get under the skin of a character, I live that character, and I think that has helped me become less judgmental. I don't judge people now. I know everybody has their unique story, so don't judge, understand. That has become my principle of life. And I think that is what gave the idea of the mind game also, because we are too quick to judge others rather than process our own emotional health. We don't know what we are thinking, why we are thinking, are we thinking right or not? Are we thinking in the right way or not? Nobody is perfect. Perfection is a myth. But what do we do in order to check ourselves? Do we check ourselves in our behavior? Because it is always, like they say, there is no smoke without fire. So unless and until I react in a certain way, I will not invite a certain response from the other person. And it is always a give and take relationship. So why not? So why not? Why not be emotionally intelligent? Why can't we just pause, reflect, and then behave? Why are we so impulsive that, okay, no, we have to give our reaction. And it is absolutely fine if you don't have opinion on a particular topic. It's
But in today's
absolutely
day
fine.
and date, even if you don't have an opinion, you must voice an opinion like really, really loudly. But
Yeah. Yeah, so I
coming,
think I think that is where I think theater also, and I have done very complex roles which have been like very overwhelming for me. It has like I've cried after my performances have ended. Like I'll give you an example. Recently, I did the role of a. It was a monologue. It was a 45 minutes monologue of a rape survivor. How
okay,
she survives that whole trauma and then overcomes it and starts fighting for justice for women. So I think that whole thing, when I was living that character, oh my God, first of all, I was not very confident. My director, Ram sir, was very confident that I can pull it off. He kept on telling me that leave off any bias. Don't be biased. Don't judge the character. Don't judge yourself as whether you are portraying the character perfectly or not. Just be yourself and believe in the character. And when I performed, I cried after the show. People came and hugged me. I can't tell you what was the feeling at that time. After the play ended, after the monologue ended, I was sitting on the stage for like sitting still on the stage for like some 2 minutes. Then people started coming and hugging me, and they said, "Okay, we are so touched by the performance." I think.
because you just talked about getting under the skin of a character with which or with whom you have no point of comparison. There
No.
are no commonalities there. Okay. However, I think it's getting under the skin of a character like that is what takes you into the skin of your characters, the ones that you create for your books, because one is an extension of the other. One is the live medium, the other one is to put it down on paper, literally down for posterity. So I would like to take you through to Meghna. Because see, usually when we talk about a book, it has some bulk and has a few pages. This might seem like a really, really slim version. This is your size zero of a book. But the fact is that within these two covers packs a mean punch of a story of an aging actress. Now that also is something that is not common to you. You most definitely are an actress, but you're not an aging one. So to get into this, to get under the skin of an actress that is aging and perhaps slowly moving away from the arc lights, that must have been difficult. How did you manage to pull that one off? Like, how do you prepare the storyline? Where does it come from? Where do your ideas come from?
So I have a, so what should I say? So basically, uh, being in theater, I have played a lot of characters. I have played a mother as well, and I did a monologue. Again, it was a 1 hour, 10 minutes monologue. It's called Arundhati. It's about an actress who, so basically an actress who did not who ignored love because of her career. So that was the kind of role that I played. And I remember a line. I would like to recite I said, चार दीवारी भी अपनी सी लगती है, चार दीवारी भी अपनी सी लगती है, मुझको सोता हुआ देखती है, कभी सवाल नहीं पूछती. So I think those are so powerful lines because it is like you are on your own and you
True.
like your solitude. You are loving your solitude. And considering age and all, I think I have always fantasized old age. I always I always think about what I will do when I am 70s or 60s or 70. I always fantasize that. It is like, oh wow, and I really like to see. So I was very fascinated with my grandmother. My grandmother, unfortunately, she passed away when she was 93. But at the age of 90, she was active. She used to cook for us, and she used to host Budi Party. if you know what I mean. So Budi party is basically a kitty party of all the oldies, of
Have
all
a
the all the old friends and families who have become grandmothers and all. Or they used to, and I participated in one such gathering. Oh my God, what life they have! I can't tell you. They are so young at heart, and I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, this is the kind of life I want when I am in my old age. So
you know,
I
saying reminds me a little bit about when we were children. See, we couldn't wait to grow up, right?
yeah.
Now that I am well past middle age, I would want to go back to being a child. And most decidedly, when I was a child, I too used to fantasize about having gray hair. That is going to be one difficult task to pull off, because by the time I am the age to gray, there will not be anything left. So let's move on to more happier things. Kaleidoscope, for instance, is not your regular book. It's not like a regular storybook. It's a book which has 10 people from all walks of life. And how well you've chosen your people, because they come from they come from everywhere. Some of them are actually artists. Some of them are people who are professionals who have very busy lives. Some of them are great achievers, and in their own walks of life, they are very well known and are. Let's face it, they are doing so well in their life. And yet, the one thing that your book makes them united with is art. All right. And, when I was kind of reading Kaleidoscope for the first time when I received it, I like reading books a couple of times, you know that, right? Because it allows you to really, really form layers after layers of concept and perception all coalescing together to give you a clear picture of the book. So the first time I read it, I remembered that, at that time I was trying to also write an article about art for a magazine. And that's where, I came across what Paul Cézanne had said. And he had said that, that art is harmony, and it's almost parallel to nature. Art is a kind of harmony that is almost parallel to nature. And we have that granddaddy of all art or artists, Michelangelo. And he says the true work of art is but a footprint or a shadow of the divine perfection. So I'm like, okay, very heavy, very bhari bharkam stuff. But your book demystifies art, because it's seen through the lenses or the kaleidoscope of various people who are not artists per se. Okay,
Yes.
what made you pick these people, and what made you, or what gave you the idea of this book of being a melange of point of views from people who are not basically seriously professionally artists?
Very good question again. So, and I'm glad that the book has received a lot of appreciation because of its simplicity and the concept. So so this idea came in my mind when I used to see art is a form of self expression, and it is a form of liberating yourself when you don't have people to talk to or people who will understand you choose art and choose to express yourself through art. That is the philosophy. So I thought, why not, so even the publisher told me to get a famous artist endorse the book, and then they will agree to publish. I said that breaks the concept, because I wanted to highlight that how common people like you and me can practice art and find solace in life and find the real meaning of why do we exist. It's not only about taking it up as a profession, but that whole process, going through that whole process of filling colors, working with colors, or just seeing colors around yourself. Because right now, I think we the pace of life is, I think, 2x or 3x. We don't know when we don't know when our day, when do we start our mornings, how do we, I don't think we have that time of reflecting on our life, that how has our day gone by. It's like, oh, 24 hours just go by, and suddenly you say, oh, okay, the day is over. What did I do? I did nothing.
True.
Even on weekend, even on the weekends, we don't find time, like, what to do. And nowadays, I think I have heard people say, I'm bored. I am like, I'm like, bored of what?
What?
I'm like, bored
Exactly.
of what? How much of life have you seen that you are bored of it? So I think people are somewhat confused now. We are very confused with the pace of life, with how life has the kind of opportunities life presents. And sometimes I think in this hurry burry we forget ourselves. Art introduces you to your own self. Art introduces you to the kind of a person you are. I don't think if you want to know yourself or you want to introspect, I think art is the best medium. Any form of art. It is not only painting. Like I said, even acting. When I live the life of a character, I am introspecting, and it is affecting me and making a change in my personality as well. So I think I become and it is very strange. I am a 90s kid, and in school we had this culture of slam books. So I remember when I was in class 12th, we were doing this ritual of filling each other's slam books. There was a common question in each slam book: what do you want to be? and
Yes.
and to my surprise, my answer was a good human being. I don't know how did that come to my mind, that I want to be a good human being in future. And I think art has helped me stay true to myself. ex, ex, um, and I have also got the power of accepting my vulnerabilities with art. I am
True.
my authentic self with art. I don't need to fake around. I don't need to tell people that, okay, uh, I don't need to be. I don't need to have the problem of dual personality. I don't. I am my authentic self. Whether you like it or not, that is none of my business. But I am. I know what I am, and I am very satisfied with it. Yeah.
The one thing that I really like about your style of writing is that it aims at encompassing the common man. There is nothing intentionally made difficult. There are no out of the way allusions that might switch somebody off into thinking that this is too highbrow for me. Okay, so I feel that you have done this intentionally of drawing in everybody into your, under your umbrella of the story that you are unfolding or the idea that you're unfolding. Because I love the fact that your books are not just stories. Your books are also ideas.
Yeah.
They also lead people through an idea. And Kaleidoscope, of course, is an idea. It's an idea that should actually be very important in people's agenda, but lies on the side because, like you said, we are rushing against the clock and we do not even know when our day has ended. We know when it begins because the alarm sets us off, but we don't really know when it ends, right? So, what I'd like to ask you about this book is, which really hit me the first time I read it, is that what are the questions? How did you think up these questions? How did you come up with these questions? And I'd like to read a few of these questions because I found them very intriguing, very, very intriguing. You asked all.
So I have to interrupt here because I have to tell all my audience, whoever is listening, that Rumadi's chapter is also there in the book. I have interviewed her as well. So you have to read the book. You have to understand that what a wonderful person she is and how art has made her such a wonderful person. Yeah.
You
Now you can.
know, I should learn from you how to make people cringe online. Okay. Okay. Let's get back. Let's try and get the gadi back on the putri. See, I like the questions. You asked all the contributors, whoever, the 10 wonderful people who featured in this book, you asked them what is art for you, which starts the ball rolling. For each, it represents a different thing. Then you ask them something deeply personal and you ask them what is your favorite color, right?
Yes.
After which you ask them slightly moving from the personal to the not so personal towards the maybe a worldview, and you ask them, do colors affect your mood? Meaning that it may affect others. Yes. Then you ask, do you think about color when you buy clothes? Again, a personal choice. Then how important is color coordination to you? Do you have matching clothes, shoes, and other things? Then some people believe, now this is again a perception. Some people believe a red sky at night indicates the weather will be good the next day. Do you agree with them? And I've seen that out of the 10 people that you have, I'm the only one who does not agree. And all the others did. And then you have, I loved the next question. I think your 7th question was an absolute rocker. If you could change the color of the sky, what would your choice be? And I think here, Mamta writes something about, was it Neha, who says that I would like the sky
Neha.
to be completely white, crystalline, pearlesque.
No, that is Mamta. That is Mamta.
That is
Yeah.
Mamta. Yes, and somebody else says that I would like it in all mild pastel shades.
Yeah, Ekta. Yeah.
Ekta says that, and Ekta is an artist, right?
Yes.
She's an artist, and she draws these beautiful paintings in muted tones. Very unlike what we find in a children's book, because she is mainly an illustrator of children's books.
Yes.
Then I love the fact that Dr. Vijay Jain, your first choice, is somebody you met during the COVID or met online during the COVID. So these are people who have also colored your vision in the course of last few years. And you have kept, I think, the best for the last. Because Antara Banerjee's story is the last one, or her interview is the last one. And you've also done something very strange for a book of the sort. You've introduced artwork by the people you have interviewed, so that people actually get a glimpse of what they think of art. So now you tell me, A, the choice of questions. How long did it take for you to think up the questions? And B, you've sort of tweaked the questions a little bit for each of the 10 people. So they seem similar, but are not actually the same. So
Yes.
when was this worked out? When was the maths of this matter worked out?
Oh, so it's very impromptu. I kept, so when I thought about the concept, I was like, I don't want to ask the typical stereotypical questions or the specific questions to everybody. I wanted the theme to be similar for everybody. Like, because when you say, when I ask about the personal choices also, I say that, okay, there is a certain reason behind your favorite color. You may not realize, but like for myself, I have included my views also in the end. So for me, red has been my favorite color, and it gives me confidence. It is a color of passion for me. And when I feel really passionate, or I feel very determined towards working towards a goal, I wear red. And I have seen this repeat, like I wear red 3 to 4 days a week when I am working towards a goal. So that triggered that, okay, I should ask what is the reason behind the favorite color. Then changing the color of the sky, a lot of contributors were surprised with that question. They were like, we have never thought about it. But when you ask us, obviously, this is something we have been told, right? We have been told that the sky is blue. But
True.
what if we were not told about it? So there are a lot of the underlying idea that popped up this question was that we are subject to a lot of stereotypes, which knowingly, unknowingly, we also follow in our life when we grow up as an adult. We don't know. We are consciously, our brain is tuned, or say, we have learned it, but we are not aware. Since we are not aware, we cannot unlearn it.
True.
So that was one reason why I asked these questions, because I wanted the artist to think that what if you got the opportunity to unlearn, what would your answer be? And have you ever imagined? So one of the contributors, I don't remember the name right now, but the person said that yes, it really made me reflect on why do I do art.
True.
The book made the person realize, and now the person has also gone back to art, and the person practices art on a daily basis, which the person had left because of daily chores. The person had left doing art, but because of this interview they went back. They said, okay, even if it is 5 minutes per day, we will do, because that is my real existence.
You know, when I was reading through the book, and particularly when I was reading Ramarao sir's, that's when I realized that, feelings, moods, age, then culture, society, all of these things, they all decide our choice of color.
Yes. Yes.
Because the auspicious color of one society is the inauspicious color of another. Also, the color of love for one society is the color of danger for another. Okay, so
Correct.
it's literally like that. That means, colors and the way we react to colors is also conditioned by our upbringing.
Yes.
And this idea was further strengthened when I read Neha Mittal's, and she said that I hate black and white movies. And that kind of got me thinking that perhaps color is also linked to age, to the
Yes.
time you inhabit. So, the idea is that mm, it starts off with a very simple idea: colors. What do you think about colors? What do you think about art? What role do you think art plays in your life? It starts off on that level, and then slowly, as the interviewee is answering the questions, it delves into something that they may not have consciously thought about. So you literally are like an embodiment of that line. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Okay, I had that feeling that you drew us into that little web of yours. And people, she looks very beguiling. She looks, oh, she wouldn't hurt a fly. But she has a very, very twisted and a very deep mind which wants to really ferret out information. And she does that with such ease. The fact is that you wouldn't mind opening your heart to her because you feel that with her, your ideas, with her, the ideas that you espouse are actually going to be espoused by her. So I also feel that some things are very beautiful about the book and about the kind of color delineation. You've asked all of them. Do you want to dye your hair? You know,
Yeah.
to to a person being interviewed, that might seem like, huh, what kind of a question is that? Why does she ask us that question? But it's about two things I felt. Most of the people, particularly Jayanti ma'am, said, no, no, I'm very proud of my salt and pepper hair. Which means that showed her that that color was what she was very proud of. And then there were the very experimental types who said, of course, I've dyed it yellow and dyed it pink and
Purple.
red and
Purple
purple.
also.
Then, if you really ask me that question, I really couldn't answer that question because there are very few to color. So, but yes, then there are others who said no. I mean, I like the black color that it is because you see, we've been conditioned into believing that the color of our hair is what we were born with. So again, you start off with innocuous questions, and I feel you are actually drawing out from them what conditioning is all about.
Yes.
So even color is a conditioned response. And your that book spends a very what can I say, very detailed journey into the minds of 10 people with questions that are uh, on the surface very simple. But the more you think about them, the more you realize that it is unraveling a part of your soul for people to see. That's a wonderful process. I want to ask you, how on earth, like the Pied Piper of Hamelin, do you get 10 different people to open up and talk about things that maybe they have never really truly talked about to another person?
Oh, so yeah. So here I have to thank all the contributors, all the people, all the artists who patiently answered the questions. Some of them were a bit hesitant. They said, "Okay, I won't answer now. I will answer later because I have to really think about it." But I'm really glad that everybody was a good sport to all to this, and including you. We had a lovely interview. I still listen to the recording most of the times because your interview was like fantastic. Yeah. So I am like so I say I will say that uh, I've got good people, and I didn't give any disclaimers to anybody. I just said that this is an honest take on what do you think about color, and through this I want you to also reflect your journey as an artist and how you have evolved as a person. So I think that idea connected with everybody, and they were also very excited uh, to reflect, to become more self-aware. Like I remember there is an artist, Chandrika Sinha. So Chandrika Sinha, she is a very young girl. She is a young girl and a young artist. She's after every reply she was like, oh, but your question made me think really hard, because I used to draw, I used to paint and sketch on my own whenever I felt like, but I have never really focused much on it. And some of them opened up and said how they have healed through the years because of painting, which was like, I'm very grateful, and I feel very lucky that people could open up to me. I don't know what maybe you all have got a feel of the authenticity, or I don't know. But so really I feel I have been blessed that all of you agreed and you opened up, and it was an organic process. I can't explain. When I was interviewing, it is like a normal conversation, just like we are talking now.
Exactly.
It was not there were no pauses actually, and each of my I have the recordings with me. I Each of the conversation was minimum 45 minutes. Just imagine, these are just 10 questions, but 10 questions, 45
Exactly.
minutes. 45 minutes means they also felt that they are also feeling comfortable talking about it, because nobody asked them anything like this before.
I think, it starts off with sort of a questionnaire
Mm.
and then it becomes amusing.
Mm.
Okay. And we are just kind of thinking aloud with you.
Yes.
And you give us that space and that breath to sort of put forward what is going on in our minds at that time. And I also like the fact that the questions seem innocuous enough to begin with, but there are some very deep pointers to our social structure as well, because you've talked about the genderizing of color. You've
Yes.
talked about blue and pink. Okay, the blue immediately associated with boys and pink immediately associated with girls. And I see that most of the people who are answering this question seem to be a little taken aback when coming face to face with that idea, because consciously we've never really thought about it. We've
Yes.
never really thought about how very insidiously there has been a genderization of colors as well.
Yes.
And I'm so delighted to see that the gentlemen who have been interviewed in the course of this book have both come up very very vociferously against this idea of genderization and said that they are proud wearers of pink shirts, pink and
Yes.
purple shirts. I love that. The very idea that, you've actually talked about how society takes something as beautiful and as intrinsic to life as colors and twists it around to become the politics of gender.
Yes. Yes.
That was beautiful. I mean, I thought that using that question along with the other one, what is your take on the black sheep of a family? Because I see across the board, all 10 of us have said the same thing, that it's such a negative connotation of a color to somebody who stands out by virtue of being different. So here, you're also sneaking in ideas of inclusivity.
Yes.
So on the surface, a book about colors, on the surface, a book about the healing power of colors, on the surface, a book about art as an expression of the self and of feelings and moods. But below the surface, a whole lot of other things sneaked in for the readers to read and make what they will of it.
Yes.
This is this has been your, I would say, the leitmotif of each of your books.
Yes.
Even the Climate Ninja, and I took it to school and gave it to our junior librarian, who read it and told me this is an excellent book to read aloud for the children, and she actually did promptly. And the Climate Ninja had the children answering what is to be done and what is not to be done, rather than any prompt by a teacher.
That is
So
very
therefore,
nice.
going under the surface, that's your forte. You always go under the surface and you do it with such beguiling ease. It's like Nana ami to jani na type. But the idea is, yes. I mean, you look like butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. But that people is a subterfuge, because yes, she knows very well what she's doing. And the the idea is that she takes people from all walks of life and gets them to say things like this. And I'm going to read out a few things. And I will not tell the readers who said which one, because it's for the readers to discover who says these things. And you'll also have to guess which of the people interviewed would have possibly said this. Um, this is what this person has to say. Blue is the symphony of peace that weaves a tapestry of wonder. White, the color white, makes me happy. White, the epitome of purity and simplicity, invokes a sense of serenity and clarity. Then, moving on, we have this. Despite the common notion that black negates colors, I find solace because it's a color of mystery, like the enigma of the night promising the dawn. Thus, I embrace white as well. Even though E.L. James may have made conversations difficult around the shades of grey, I am attracted to its subtle nuances. Then we have, and I give you a little hint, a young person talking about favorite colors. My favorite colors are the aged, subtle hues that carry a sense of warmth and nostalgia. I am particularly drawn to all shades of brown and dark green. These colors, with their muted and earthy tones, evoke a sense of calm and depth that I find captivating. And then we go to somebody whose leitmotif right now in life is to breathe colors into fabrics. Okay, and this is what she has to say. I don't have a favorite color because every color in the universe holds its own unique significance. Nature, in its brilliance, has crafted all living things in perfect harmony, including us humans, who are an integral part of it. Every gift of nature is beautiful in its authentic form. While humans, in their arrogance, may believe they are separate from nature, this is far from the truth.
Yes.
And in between, we have somebody who I would like to say has mellowed with all the richness of color in life. And this is what um, this person has to say about color. It has always been blue, mostly pale blue, and nowadays it is powder blue. A very light shade of blue is my favorite, I can say. In my younger days, it used to be sky blue, light blue, and so on. So here we have color in its entire spectrum being liked by everyone, and they're giving reasons for why they like it, and the reason is almost always associated with feelings.
Yes.
So again, like the mind game, which starts off as a do-it-yourself to find out more about your own mind, on the surface becomes literally an odyssey of a journey for any person reading it. And I'm quite sure no two people would have reacted to it alike.
Definitely, definitely. Like I have got such varied responses from readers, but there is one common thread across everybody. Everybody has been inspired to practice some form of art. They said that we picked up the paintbrush again in our life. We picked up the pen and pencil. Someone said that I just scribbled after reading the book, and I felt so much of peace after doing that activity. And it is something that we had forgotten or we had ignored in our lives, but right now we think that okay, we'll at least do this activity for at least 5 minutes a day, because the kind of peace and warmth that activity gave them, I think that is what was missing in their life. So yeah, so I feel so one of the reviewers told me that so they said ki I don't know, it somehow introduced me to myself again, which was a
Yes,
very big statement, which
yes.
is a very big statement for me, because I don't think, like you said, beguiling. So when I wrote the book, I did not have so much depth. Yeah, the questions were so I don't know. This is something I have. I think my honest take or my honest commitment is what is reflected in the book, or even in my theater performances. The What I do is I want to give my 100 200%. I get involved in the process so much that it becomes a tornado of emotions. And after the project ends, it is like an overwhelming sigh of relief. I have cried after each and every project, theater project, as well as after finishing every book. It has been like 2 days. বলে না যেমনি মাথাটা ভারী হয়ে যায়. So two
Because
days
like
I have taken. I have felt it.
catharsis. It's some kind of
I
catharsis,
Yeah.
purging that feeling of heaviness that you had borne that big project for such a long time. Yes, maybe.
And when I'm writing it, but when I'm writing it, it is very easy for me. I don't go through that heaviness at that time. But when it ends, even when Kaleidoscope ended, I was like, this is too much. This is too much for me. How have I done this? I myself cannot believe this. Yeah.
You know, this was something that some child may have told me, or some variation of this may have read. See, we are all doom scrolling these days, so I do not really know which one I pick up from the internet and which one I have heard or read. But it is something to this effect that uh, that creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep,
Yes.
because we're very high strung about being perfect. And that, I think, is the biggest disease that ails this world. And since you've talked about art being a representation of any kind of personal feeling, it can be, for you it's theater and writing, for the other it might be dance, for the other one it can be singing, For me, it's painting or sketching. For others, it might be making things out of, thrown away things. Because let's face it, India is the land of jugaad. So we all know that we do really find that also. So these are all artistic outpouring, and it's actually being happy making mistakes, because we are so high strung about being perfect all the time that most people don't go to making art,
Yes.
because they feel that it might turn out to be ugh. And then that stops them from actually enjoying the process, which is art.
Yes. Absolutely
So
right.
that
Yeah.
sort of blows the lid off this entire idea of making perfect anything, and it just tells people to, like the Nike ad, just do it.
So this is what happened when I launched Kaleidoscope in Bombay. So one of the audience members asked me that I want to create art, but I am very scared of people judging it. I said, are you creating it for the people or yourself?
Exactly.
When you are
Exactly.
creating it for yourself, I don't think so you should bother about why, what log kya kahenge. I don't think so. I think this log kya kahenge business has stopped us to explore ourselves as an individual, as a human being. I think the sooner we get rid of this attitude of like bothering about log kya kahenge, I think we'll liberate ourselves. And on Independence Day, that is what I say: choose art as a medium to liberate yourself.
Oh, beautiful. So on that very beautiful note, where uh, who apparently is at least what, 10 years older than Devika, have at this very ripe old age realized that I am not going to wear the weight of other people's opinions at this juncture of my life. And Devika has realized that 10 years prior to me, which makes her twice as intelligent. And on that very independent note, we would like our readers, our viewers, to kind of reach out for this book. I'm going to be putting up the link of this book in Facebook as well as Instagram, and so will Devika. And I know that many of you might feel that it's a waste of time picking up books in today's day and date. But let's face it, people, it costs less than a caramel popcorn at an Inox. So don't be chindi. This is the Independent Day, Independence Day. Go out and get that blessed book, read it for yourself, and if you are reading it, and if it has made the slightest impact to your life, don't be a fool. Please leave a few words of encouragement for the author and for everybody else who featured in that book. Yours truly also features in that book. We'd love to hear what you have to say. If you think that you bought the book for nothing and would want us to hear about the litany of woes that you are facing, we are game for that as well. Because I think the idea of increasing our vocabulary with a few choicy words is also very important. With that very, very happy and independent thought, I think, Devika, we should call it a night, because let's face it, if you and I are left to ourselves, this will pretty much cover up till tomorrow morning. So I'm sure the public needs the rest.
Yeah, yes. But
Yeah.
before we end, I have to say something. So Rumadi has been very kind, and she has spoken only about Kaleidoscope. So I also have a question for Rumadi, because I have recently read her book. I have read her short story in the 15 frames. I can't. It's okay. It's okay. You already know that I embarrass you always, so I'm doing this again. So
This is a major cringe.
it's okay. It's okay. I take this moment of telling that Rumadi is a fantastic writer, and I must say there was a chill down under my spine that went down my spine after reading her story. I want to know what was going through your mind. Just okay, you don't have to. You are so feeling so embarrassed, so you don't have to. You don't have to give a monologue, but you can tell me in 2 minutes what was was going in your mind when you wrote the story, The Mirror, and how did you think of that ending? Oh my God, I'm like, how it is like Chalchitra movie. If you have seen Chalchitra movie, which has recently released in Bengali theaters, starring who is the I don't remember Tota Rai
Right.
Chaudhary, Rai Chaudhary and Anirban. I'm like, wow, it is at par with that kind of a story. Rumati, how do you do this?
See, the
And why
thing
do you
is,
do this? Because why do you do this?
see, you can say that I am a kind of a lazy writer. And if I am a lazy writer, then I know I am catering to a bunch of very lazy readers. So, who don't have the time for maybe a 300-page novel or a 150-page novella. My 50 পাতার বইও পড়বে না. So therefore, I have to do what I have to do within those 3-4 pages that I have decided that I'm going to perpetrate on them, and I have to, in that 3 or 4 pages, I have to build an entire Mahabharat for them. And there has to be a denouement, because if there's a story, there has to be a denouement. And also the fact that I am of that generation, and let's face it, we grew up reading some of the best short story writers in the world. Right?
Yes.
I am an absolute O. Henry fan. I don't,
Oh,
I don't think anybody, not even H.H. Munro, Saki, or for that matter, not even Gide Mopassa, or for
no,
that
no,
matter, even Somerset Maugham can write as well as that man did. O.
no,
Henry
no.
is literally the boss of all short stories.
Yes,
And we all know that all his short stories ended with a cliffhanger.
yes.
They all ended
Absolutely.
with a wham. And you were like, where the heck did this come from? Like,
Yeah.
if you take a modern day equivalent of a writer writing something like O. Henry did, but in a novel form, in a bigger form, in a bigger novel form, then it would have to be that first book by Alex Michaelides, A Silent
Absolutely.
Patient. Oh
Absolutely.
my God, that blew my mind. And I think the idea that there has to be a huge twist in the tale is something that we grew up with, which is what I am perpetrating on my poor readers right now. And like you said, that chill, I believe that I've always wanted to write. I have written a series of magic realisms,
Wow.
stories of magic realism, and they take off very innocuously from very humdrum, mundane real life situations, and then they come to such a point where you don't know whether that is reality or that is something else. It borders on the unreal sometimes, it borders on magic realism sometimes, it borders on horror at the other, because I believe that the kind of lives that we lead, sometimes our lives are more fascinating than anything that you can make up in a story or on reel. The real
Absolutely.
is, I think, far more amazing and horrifying, scary, maybe, or even revelations can happen
Yes.
in real life situations. And I think that the ordinary is really difficult to bring about in a book. Because you see,
Correct.
everybody's expecting extraordinary things to happen in a book. Everybody's expecting larger than life situations,
Yes.
larger
Yes.
than life characters, and things like that. But why not find some kind of an amazing situation occurring in the very ordinary? That is what kind of got me going, because the characters, if you see, are very real. You will
Very
find
real.
them नुक्कड़ के कोने में ही बैठे हुए. So
Yeah.
therefore, that kind. And I also thought that, when you write about very grandiloquent characters, na, we like reading it because it's something so different from our life. But at the end of the day, isn't it all about resonating with you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, that
Absolutely.
means you and I literally are the flip sides of a coin, because at least you can come up with what, 300 odd pages here, and maybe 250 odd pages here, and I can give you 2.5 pages or maybe 3 pages, but we're both doing the same thing. We're giving an idea,
Yeah.
you now chew and mull on that idea.
Correct. Correct.
And the fact is that both you and I are absolutely candid about the fact that we take our readers to a point where you can't dodge the bullet. People, you can't dodge the bullet.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely right.
so
Oh
yeah.
my God. Yeah. So thank you.
I'll tell you a few more of my stuff,
Yes,
but before that,
yes.
people, please show some love for Devika because
And somebody also, please, please buy this.
yes, and also if you see the book is called 15 Frames, which means apart from me, you get to read 14 other outstanding stories by amazing people. And
Yeah.
some of them happen to be my friends also. So therefore, yes, why not? This is, if you think that this is turning out to be an exercise in great nepotism, I'm really sorry. I give you my absolutely heartfelt apologies. But the fact is that, let's face it, this entire idea that artists cannot be friends, and also the fact that the art community is like a bunch of Bengali crabs is also an idea that Devika and I would like to debunk. And on that very optimistic note, I would like to call it a day. But we're going to come back because
Definitely.
I promise you we need to do separate sessions with Devika, and we need to pick her brains clean. As a true bong, remember, I do not leave any flesh on the bone, and therefore, on that very merry and gory note, let me call it a night. Devika, I cannot begin to thank you enough for sparing your time because let's face it, you and I both know that you do have a longer day than I do. And to look so fresh as a daisy and all smiles at the end of a working day. Yes, Vidhi, please wait. This is something that you should all wait for because Vidhi here is my student and so is Prapti. And these are girls who have returned to the fold of reading. Thank you for doing that, girls. And please, please, please make it a point to read the book. It is something that I know is going to resonate with each one of you. And Devika, we shall be back like the Terminators. We are going to be back, people, with more such inane topics or not so inane topics to discuss. And Instagram Live is going to come alive with our chit chat
Alive.
once.
Yeah.
So,
And we'll continue to be the badass women.
yes.
On that note.
And we will
Yeah.
bombard one and all with whatever we have to say and put forward to it. If this makes even 10% of people who we know want to read books, want to go
Yeah.
back to reading, want to take up art, want to go back to self-expression, not be scared of perfection, but of the journey, then we would have thought that this was a session well conducted. Yes,
Thank
with
you.
that and with expression of undying love for each other, we call it a night. Good night and a very
Yep.
happy Independence Day. And now, dear viewers, we make you independent to go back to your ordinary lives.
Thank
So,
you and have a lovely weekend.
lovely, lovely weekend.